Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies has been a roller coaster of emotion since the game's release. We have people in the left corner saying this is the best zombies experience we've had in such a long time. Then we have people in the right corner saying, get this thing out of my face. I thought I just owned it already. Don't let me get a restraining order on you. Then it got me thinking, what do I think of this game? What does Spanky think of the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies experience? Now, before I get into what I think of this game, I want to ask you guys 3 questions I want you to ponder over throughout this video. Number 1, do you guys have fun with this game? Even if it's just a little bit, that's still fun. Number 2, is this game too easy? And number 3, do you think this game will age like fine wine or like soiled milk? Think about it. Ladies and gents, spanks and things, how we doing today? Yes guys, today I will be talking about the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 experience and whether or not it is fun, is it too easy, is mutant injections the most OP thing in all of zombies? Yes, all of those questions will be answered and then some. What I won't be talking about are COD points, all the AI generated stuff, none of the background work that's going on. I will only be talking about all of the gameplay elements and everything that they have provided us. And the first thing that I want to touch on is what you do before you start a game, and that is augments and create a class. The create a class system was introduced to us through a small little mode called multiplayer, where you can customize your class, changing your weapons, your grenades, your perks, which would affect the playstyle that you have in your multiplayer match. Slowly throughout the years, this create a class system would slither its way into what we have now in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Most people despise this create a class system for many reasons. But let's talk about the old zombies before we dive into this topic. You first spawned in with the worst weapon in the game with 500 points and 2 grenades. You are at your most vulnerable state when you first spawn into the map, making you feel anxious and fearful hearing zombies slowly encroaching to your barriers. Frantically running around shooting and meleeing zombies, you will start to build up points for you to either open doors, buy wall buys, buy perks, gamble some of your cash on the mystery box. The beginning of your game and your first steps to how you progress through the map is the most important part of your game. It's not the way your game ends, it's how your game begins. And the choices that you make by spending your points are vital to your survival. And that is why people love the old zombies. Now, we have a create a class system where you can pick whatever gun you want. You want a sniper rifle? Here you go. You want a shotgun? Get to level 35 and I'll give you that shotgun. You want a pistol? Take this AR instead. And on top of that, how about we give you a tactical and a lethal of your choosing, and a melee weapon with a field upgrade, and 5 gobble gums. This game makes you feel like the spoiled child in your family. This system changes the entire dynamic of what zombies was. Instead of you starting at your all-time low, now you have skipped 15 steps to the start of your game and you are ready to roll. Wall buys are absolutely useless. The mystery box is a forgotten fossil, and the fear factor is nowhere to be found. Black Ops 6 is an entirely different experience from what old zombies players are used to, and I don't think that a lot of people like that. They crave that feeling of anxiety until you feel like you're at a level in the game where you're at your comfort zone. You have your wonder weapon, you have a pack-a-punch gun, you have all 4 of your perks. Now you've skipped the entire beginning stage of your game and you have whatever weapon you chose immediately. No luck from the box, no wall buy weapons, it's whatever you chose to start your game off with. So what do I think of this create a class system? Honestly, I think it's kind of fun. Yes, it does hinder many features in this game, but I think I could look past it just for a little bit, and I could talk more about those features like the mystery box and the wall buys in a later section. But this changes the pace of the game tenfold. With a much faster pace and setting yourself up to higher rounds or Easter eggs much faster than the original games, I think they did a spectacular job with that. Even with the old zombies, with more of the slower pace setup, they did a wonderful wonderful job with that too, but now they're going more of the faster paced motion, which I am also a fan of. So let's talk about what's in the create a class feature. So obviously we have our main weapon and our melee weapon. Now we have a field upgrade, which will charge after eliminating a certain amount of enemies. As of this video being made, we have 7 field upgrades, with some being very good and some being extremely bland and terrible. These field upgrades are a get out of jail free card and can help you progress through certain Easter egg steps or side Easter egg steps, or it can help you with just survival, with some of the best field upgrades being Ether Shroud, Frenzied Guard, and Energy Mine. Then we have tacticals and lethals. Depending on what map I'm playing, I will change the lethal or the tactical depending on what map I'm on. For example, if I'm playing the Tomb, I will pick the Molotovs so I can get a free perk. Or if I'm playing on Shattered Veil, I would pick a Semtex so I can blow up the flowers on the early rounds so I can progress through the early steps of unlocking the Acid Ray Gun Mark II faster. And then we have the Gobblegums, and right off the bat in your game, you can pick 3 Gobblegums in your inventory that you could start off with the other 2 being locked in the Gobblegum machine. You could do some nasty combos with these Gobblegums. For example, you can mix Tactical Diffusion and Raindrops to get you a total of 8,000 points in the beginning of your game. And you can have Perkaholic on top of that, so you are set up on round 1. I am honestly a big fan of the Create a Class feature. Like I said with the tacticals and lethals, I will choose whatever weapon or field upgrade or Gobblegums, depending on what map I choose to play. I love getting set up on the earliest round possible so that I can be cruising through rounds feeling like a god. And this game scratches that itch that I can barely reach that's on the center of my upper back. Now let's talk about the Augment feature. Augments are used to enhance your perks, ammo mods, and field upgrades, making each of these items better depending on your playstyle. Let's take Vulturate for example. One of the major augments that I use is Parting Gift, dropping more ammo for wonder weapons. Some players would use that, or some players would want zombies to fart and you stand in the stench, allowing your field upgrade to charge faster. Let's take another perk for example, PhD Flopper. I used to use Dr. Ram. Tactical sprinting knocks down and damages base zombies, but instead I am now using PhD Slider. Sliding into enemies triggers explosions. A lot of these augments can enhance the way you play the game, allowing you to escape dire situations, to make you feel more powerful. There are ways to make these perks, ammo mods, field upgrades to make them feel more juicy. I cannot describe to you guys how much I love augments. So now that I got everything that you do before you start your game out of the way, now I want to talk about the setup to your games. How fun is the setup to this game? Is it memorable? Is it forgettable? Or is it a chore? I have been playing zombies for so many years and I've played so many maps, and for me there have always been 3 criteria that a map needed to have to make it a memorable map. Number 1, is the wonder weapon on that map good? Number 2, does the map have a good difficulty? And number 3, is the setup fun? Here's a couple examples I have of a certain map that fills these 3 criterias. Buried. You can get almost everything done on that map on round 1, with Arthur helping you build all of your craftables, destroy areas on the map that you can't break yourself, getting 6 perks using the time machine, and getting 2 pack-a-punched weapons. Here's another example. Mob of the Dead. Getting the Hell's Retriever, getting the Blundergat, repairing the airplane so you can get to the Golden Gate Bridge and Pack-a-Punch. Refilling the plane so you can go back to the Golden Gate Bridge. And building all of the available craftables on the map. Out of all of the 3 criteria that I have for each map, the most important one of them all for me is the setup. With each and every game, you start out the same. You're at the bottom of the barrel, the shit end of the stick. You need to crawl through the mud to enter the pool and wash yourself off. But it's the journey from getting to the pool is what counts. Not the reward, but the journey to get there. With every single game of zombies ending the same way, with either you dying or your game crashing, you still want to have fun playing up to that moment, but until then, you will need to get powerful somehow. And when a map makes you very powerful, but you have to work hard to get to it, and on top of that, it's fun. That is a memorable map. That's what a lot of old zombies maps do, and that's why a lot of people stan the old Call of Duty games. I have grown up with them, and I still reminisce about the old days, but does Black Ops 6 have what it takes for me to look back 10 years down the line when Call of Duty 30 comes out, and I'm thinking of BO6, thinking, was that a memorable game? And to that I would say, yes. I think Modern Zombies introduces many more ways of playing the game, but it also hinders a lot of features in the game. Like I said, part 1, the mystery box, wall buys, and now with the addition of armor plates and you having 150 health on top of that, gets rid of a lot of the difficulty that zombies once had. Now that I've talked about some of the setups in the previous games, how does this game do on setups? In my mind, there are 3 ways that you could set yourself up for either high rounds or whatever you want to do in the game. One is doing absolutely nothing, just playing the game, killing zombies, racking up points, buying perks, pack-a-punching, whatever. You just play the game and do nothing else. Number 2, doing some of the side Easter eggs, such as the bedtime Easter egg, the golden armor plate Easter egg, and so many more. And the third one, completing the main quest. After you complete the main quest, you will be rewarded with a bunch, and I mean a bunch of rewards, such as a bunch of bonus points, Perkaholic, a free ray gun, some Pack-a-Punch 3 shards, and some legendary gears. The way I like to play some of my matches is depending on which map I'm playing on, I would either do the main quest to get all set up, or I would do mostly side Easter eggs. For example, if I'm playing on the Tomb, I will be doing mostly side Easter eggs to get myself powerful enough to get the Staff of Ice and to get to higher rounds. Or if I'm playing on Liberty Falls, I preferably like to do the main quest so I can get all of the perks and a bunch of my Pack-a-Punch steps out of the way. I'm the type of player that likes to do all of the things that the game has introduced to us and have given to us, like the side Easter eggs, testing out different field upgrades, trying out different ammo mods, or hell, even trying out different weapons. But do I think that the setup is fun in this game? My answer, absolutely. There are so many ways you can become powerful in this game that it doesn't feel repetitive. Like I said, there are many ways that you can go down the path of becoming powerful. But difficulty-wise, is it hard? That depends on your playstyle. If you want to rock Perkaholic round 1, then you're set up. If you want to rock with the best starting weapons in the game, that's all you. It really does depend on the player and how they want to play the game. And I see a lot of people complaining about, okay, well then just don't use the weapons. Don't use the powerful build. And a lot of people's counter argument to that is, why wouldn't I? And here's my counter argument to that. In every single game known to man, there will always be the powerful weapon. Let's go to Elden Ring, for example. There are hundreds of weapons and sorcery spells, and one of the best weapons is this Blood Katana. You can take this weapon and cruise through the entire game or New Game Plus and not even sweat at all. But because there are so many weapons that you can use or sorceries that you can use, you can play through the game however you want. This game is no different. You have SMGs, shotguns, different field upgrades, different ammo mods. I think the argument of, well, why wouldn't I want to use the most powerful build is kind of silly, because you're just pushing off all the other content that the game is providing you. And I'm not going to shame you for picking the most powerful build, but don't be shaming people for also wanting to play the game the way they want to play. But overall, I think each of the maps that the game has provided us has different ways of getting up to the power level and different experiences as well, making each of the maps unique, but at the end of the day, the goal is always the same: survive as long as possible. Now, there were some topics that I brought up, such as how much health do you have? Is the game too easy? Which will be the next part, the gameplay. Wait, what? Oh my god, is it trivia time? Trivia time! On the Wii version of Black Ops 1, what weapon is on this wall? Is it A, the AK-74U, B, the M16, C, the Glil, or D, the AUG? The answer is D, the AUG. Zombies has always been difficult, especially during the old days, with you being a 2-hit if you did not have Juggernaut, you having a maximum amount of 4 perks that you can buy, the only way of you getting ammo is getting a max ammo, pack-a-punching your weapon, or if you had a wall buy, you would just purchase ammo on the wall. Zombies in the higher rounds becoming bullet sponges, and many more inconveniences that the player has to endure for as long as they possibly can, forcing you to be very strategic and becoming the most powerful version of yourself. And the most important part about everything that I had just said is if the gameplay is fun. When you become powerful on some of these maps, are you too powerful? If you become too powerful, is the game too easy? If the game is too easy, is it even fun? Which leads me to Black Ops 6. Does the game give the player too many advantages to overcome the horde of zombies? And if it does, is the player too powerful? And if the player's too powerful, is the game even fun? Now let's unpack one question at a time. Does the game give you too many advantages? And the answer is yes. As much as I love to be extremely powerful, I have to admit that the game gives you way too many advantages that you don't need a strategy going into any one of these maps. You don't need to do any side Easter eggs. You don't need to do any of the main quests. You can take the weapon that you started off with in the game, pack-a-punch it to 3, get it to legendary rarity, add an ammo mod to it, and you'll be set to the upper 40s. And that's not even counting the score streaks, having as many perks as you want, field upgrades, ammo crates, armor plates, augments, equipment. This game gives you so many weapons to kill the zombies that at one point you have to ask, is this game even challenging? And is it kind of boring? While I've already listed off some of the challenges of the older games, what are some of the challenges in this game? And that being zombies being able to super sprint, spam special enemies, and elite enemy rounds. And I'm going to be completely honest, that's not really challenging at all. And for a lot of the players, it's more of an annoyance. With the amount of augments that this game provides, it can help better the way you play the game. Whether you're a camper or a trainer, it can make the challenges that I listed off in this game turn to dust. And don't forget, your field upgrades, your score streaks, and everything else that I've listed. So obviously this game makes you way too powerful, getting rid of the fear factor, getting rid of the need to craft a strategy for every map that you approach. So the next question being, is this game even fun? And to that, I leave the comment section open for you guys. You guys tell me if you guys have fun with this game, but for me, this is my video, so do I have fun with this game? And the answer, yes, I do, but I crave the fear of zombies. I crave watching strategy videos on how many times I have to shoot a zombie in the ball sack and then knife him on round 1, which is 6 shots and then a knife. Seeing which doors I need to open, seeing which guns are the best, what perks I should buy first. The strategy of the points and your survival alone is what I was introduced to as a youngin', and that's what I grew up with doing. From World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, all 4 of those games, I loved strategizing my games. And Black Ops 6 takes that idea and modernizes it. Hence the name of zombies now being Modern Zombies. To us old zombies players, this is easy mode. This is some pussy shit. This is some bitch shit. Anyone who enjoys this toddler mode is a bitch. But not me. I don't think that, because I am one of them bitches, because I do have fun with this game. And one of the reasons being is because I am a fan of the fast-paced zombies experience. With the older games, there's more about fear and strategizing. This one is a lot more up in your face, keeps you tense and on your toes. Because of the overwhelming amount of zombies that now spawn in, with elites and special enemies on top of that, you now have many tools in your arsenals to deal with these hordes. But you only have a limited amount of tools in your arsenal before some of them either recharge, or if you use equipment and lethals, then you'll have to kill zombies and have them drop them for you. I have a playlist of me getting to round 100 on a few maps in this game, and in those videos I didn't use mutant injections and I only trained. And most people would consider training in this game to be impossible during the higher rounds. I just don't think they're using all the tools in their arsenal either correctly, or they're not using it enough, creating a different type of strategy in this game. With the older games, there's the strategy of how to become powerful. In this game, it's the strategy on how you use your power and how to get yourself out of sticky situations and to kill all the zombies within the round. And with the amount of augments in this game, field upgrades, ammo mods, weapons, you name it, there is a vast amount of options in this game that you can use to overcome some certain challenges you were facing. And that is the one mechanic I think Modern Zombies does right. Yes, you are extremely powerful, but it's what you use with this power that will define your game. How well do you manage your armor plates? Do you like the augments that you're using? What about your field upgrade? Are you sick of using mutant injections? Try the war machine. Options is what Modern Zombies gives. And like I said, I don't think the majority of players like the amount of options the game gives you. But for me, I see it as I could play Terminus 10 different ways. I could play the Tomb 8 different ways. But at the end of the day, I cannot hide the fact that I have fun with this game. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about that you guys can do in game, which will be part 4, is the side Easter eggs and the main quests. Easter eggs and main quests will forever be a staple in the Call of Duty Zombies history books. With an insane ending on Moon where you send rockets with 115 in them, heading straight to Earth, blowing it up, will be an experience that I will never forget. Easter eggs are just the best. We have some very good Easter eggs, and then we have some very bad Easter eggs. Whether it's the story of the map, certain quests on the Easter eggs being too difficult or tedious, it is very important for a map to involve multiple side Easter eggs and have a good main quest. Because let's face it, side Easter eggs and Easter eggs themselves are what makes the map unique. It adds a lot of replayability, whether or not you want to go at it a certain way or not. And the most important part are the memories that you have of these maps. The legacy of the maps are determined by the players themselves. So how does Black Ops 6 do with the side Easter eggs and the main quests? And I am very happy to say that they do an excellent job on the side Easter eggs and the main quest. Some of them. Let me emphasize that, some of them. With some of the 5-star Easter eggs being the bowling Easter egg on Liberty Falls, the bedtime Easter egg on Shattered Veil, the infinite double points on Terminus, becoming a bartender in Citadel de Mor, and receiving the golden armor plates on the Tomb. Notice how I said only receiving the armor plates because getting them is a pain in the ass. With some of the 1-star side Easter eggs being ringing this bell 115 times on Shattered Veil for a free perk. Shooting yourself out of the cannon 115 times to get some ass rewards, and no, I am not getting footage for this, you guys can do it yourselves. And trying to get the golden armor plates on the Tomb. You can say that skill issue all you want, but I'm sick and tired of having to pucker my asshole every time I do this stupid side quest. For an amazing award nonetheless. Back in part 3, I said that doing some of the side Easter eggs on the main quest, you don't need to do it. You can just pack a punch, get your guns, hit the box a couple times. Who am I kidding? You can still breeze through rounds, but I don't see why you would want to do that, because then every map would be the same. As a player, you want to feel immersed in the map, hence why you want to do the side Easter eggs. Like in Liberty Falls, you go into the bowling alley and you bowl. With the islands in Terminus, you can go around and complete some side quests to get the infinite double points. Even repairing the cannon in Citadel de Mor so you could shoot yourself into the courtyard is innovative. While on top of doing all these side Easter eggs, the rewards is the most important part. Completing side Easter eggs can definitely speed up the process of getting to your finish line, power level wise, faster. And on top of that, the fact that some of these side Easter eggs are very fun to do and are relatively easy just makes it that much better. I'd say out of all the 5 maps that we have thus far, I'd say the Tomb has the best side Easter eggs. With it being such a mediocre map, the amount of side Easter eggs that are in this map is kind of sad, because the map is done when you finish building your Staff of Ice. And out of the 5 maps, I think Citadel de Mor has the worst side Easter eggs. I personally just build all the swords and get each one of their incantations and call it a day. But that is how I play, and I'm sure that most of you guys play a lot differently than I do. Now let's move on to the main quests. If I had to rank these main quests from worst to best, I would go the Tomb, Liberty Falls, Shattered Veil, Terminus, and our runner-up Citadel de Mor. with the tomb being the worst because it does not innovate the map at all. It doesn't open any hidden doors. It doesn't open up any new areas on the map besides the final boss arena. And overall, it's just so damn lazy. Liberty Falls does it a little better because it does innovate the map. It's fun making the jet gun. And back when the game first came out, everyone said that Liberty Falls was the beginner's map and that Terminus is for more of the advanced players. So the fact that this main quest is relatively easy serves its purpose. It's very easy to learn and it's not that difficult to complete. With Shattered Veil, I would say this is a vanillized version of Citadel des Morts. You build the ray gun, you get the ray gun variants. You do certain steps with each of the variants and then you're on the final boss. With Citadel des Morts, you get the Bastard Sword, you build all the other swords, but you also have incantations on top of that and other steps around the map filling the orb so that you can get to the final boss. With Terminus being in second place, I put it there because you are going all over the map. Going from each island to the shipwreck, going on your boat to hack the buoys, the Nathan boss fight.
There! No, wait! The exit's locked!
Ooh, yeah, maybe not the Nathan fight. And a fantastic final boss. And my number one was Citadel des Morts. There are some tedious steps, but I want those tedious steps. I want there to be a little bit of challenge while I'm trying to complete these main quests. My favorite part of the Easter egg is when you have to fill the orb. With 4 spots around the map, you need to use a certain sword to fill up the orb. While using the sword, you must use its ability or its incantation. I'm a big fan of when main quests or Easter eggs force the player to use the wonder weapon on that map. It makes the wonder weapon feel a little bit more valuable and more important for the map storyline. Now let's talk about the final bosses in this game, which would be Patient 13, the Guardian, the Sentinel Artifact, and the Z-Rex. Now besides the Sentinel Artifact, I'm a fan of the other 3 boss fights, but I wish that they were a bit more innovative. I wish they added a step or 2 to kill the boss or to weaken it, making the fight a little bit more innovative rather than just pointing and shooting at the boss. Hoping that the Janus Towers final boss is a little bit more innovative, like you have to use the wonder weapon on a certain part, or you have to flip a switch or stand on a pad for a certain amount of time. That's just wishful thinking, but I think the fights could be a little bit better. But ultimately, they are all very fun and are the highlights of the main quest. Part 5 is going to be the most important part for me personally, and that has to go to the story. But before we get to that, we're gonna have to guess the jingle. Guess the jingle. The game is quite simple. Guess the perk machine jingle. Here it goes. The story of zombies from World at War to Black Ops 2 was very ambitious because of how it was told. There were no cutscenes, no hand to hold you through the story, but you as the player would have to go out of your way to figure out what was going on. What is this meteor? What is 115? And what the hell are these wonder weapons? All of these questions that you had in this game could be answered by completing the main quests on the maps or finding audio logs littered throughout the maps. Some of these audio logs have Maxis and Richtofen conversing with each other about teleporters, the Wonderwaffe, experiments on zombies. The story was so unique in a sense that they only gave us the right amount of food, leaving us wanting more and craving for the next map to come out so we can figure out what is going on. Like I said in part 4, one of the most ambitious Easter egg endings was blowing up Earth with Richtofen now in control of the zombies. But we didn't find out until later that all these rockets that we launched straight towards Earth were filled with 115, leaving the entire planet in destruction, chaos, and filled with death. And with an ending like that, you know everyone and their mama wanted Black Ops 2 now. Needless to say, the story of zombies has a very special place in my heart. Jesus Christ. I'm hungry. Needless to say, the story of zombies has a very special place in my heart. And with that being said, how does Black Ops 6's story compare to the old games? And oh boy, I have a lot to say about the story in this game. Some good and a lot bad. Let's just get this out of the way. I don't give a fuck about any of the characters in the game besides Richtofen, which I want you to hold that thought for a later point that I have. None of these characters are special in any ways. Their voice line sucks. There are no map exclusive voice lines for these characters. For example, in the old games, Richtofen would say something on Keynote or Toten, and then on the moon he would say something totally different and random. There was never any repeated lines on any of the other maps, leaving the experiences on different maps more unique. But the characters in this game are just so bland. And it doesn't help that I can be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle or Ana de Armas.
Oh yeah, gonna give me some of that Ana de Armas. This is the best $30 I've ever spent.
It takes the most crucial part of any story, its characters, and throws it down the drain. So let's talk about our characters. Back in Cold War, almost all of these characters that are now either playable or on our intercoms were only on the intercoms. All they did was tell us what to do, sat behind a desk, and played with their pens. Now they're on Terminus Island, where they have been tortured for 6 years and are thirsty for revenge, for Richtofen's blood, for backstabbing them in the end of the Cold War campaign. So this story is a revenge story, which can be a very good or very bland story. And in this case, some of the parts are very bland. Let's talk about the new character, Maya, who arguably has the best skins in the game. Why? I have no idea. It's almost as if the game is telling us to just give Maya a chance. Let's come on, please. Just like her, please. But she's the most uninteresting, unlikable character in this game. We're first introduced to her when she breaks us out of Terminus and wants to find her brother Nathan, who was captured and was thrown on this island. We find out later on that he was turned into an amalgam, forcing us to gun him down. With an emotional, heartbreaking moment of two characters that we have never seen before is the most boring, skippable cutscene ever. You cannot tell us players to care about a character that we have only played with for what, a couple hours? And we find out she has a brother that was turned into an amalgam, and we are now angry and wanting to kill Modi for turning our brother into a disgusting amalgam? That's not how storytelling works. They even have a character exclusive side Easter egg on Citadel des Morts where Maya goes and kills this French dude for kidnapping her brother. Do I feel like I got some sort of justice from this? No, I don't. Because I don't care. I'm trying to care. I like to think that I'm a glass half full type of guy, but I just don't care. So with Maya's story now fully resolved, what is she even doing with us? Does she just need to hitch a ride? Why would she care about stopping all of these zombies? She exacted her revenge, avenged her brother, justice was served. Now what? On the first DLC, her story is done. She has nothing to do with exacting revenge on Richtofen. She's done. It's all over. It's done. But at least we could dress up as Mr. Peak for a small price of $30. So with the characters out of the way, let's talk about the story itself, which is trying to find Richtofen, exacting our revenge for having us tortured for 6 years. We find out that we need to find the Sentinel artifact, which is a callback to Black Ops 4's campaign. We then make our way to a castle, Citadel de Mor. We come across a character named Kraft, who was a character back in Call of Duty Vanguard, who tells us we need to find the Materium Artilium. I have no idea if I'm saying that right. I know for a fact someone was on some heavy drugs when they made that word up. As we go through the map, we get swords and more badass swords with incantations. And then we have a random ghost talking to us, calling us his son. Then the next thing you know, we are defeating a stone giant, who then gives us the Maltilium Artilium. Then, in another heartbreaking scene, Kraft dies. Seconds away from us being able to save him, he dies, and with his last words, he says, "Take it easy on Richtofen. He's my son." Now that one line ignited some sort of excitement, but then is brutally interrupted with Weaver and everyone else yapping and just absolutely ruining the moment. Then we head over to the tomb with the worst storyline out of all the maps I've covered so far. We have a character talking to us named Archibald, who was in charge of trying to find the Sentinel artifact, and we get to relive some of the memories of him eventually finding the Sentinel artifact and then getting clapped by an electric mimic. You would think the story of this map would be a riveting moment. We are getting the Sentinel artifact in the Dark Ether. We are playing in the Dark Ether, and we are getting the Sentinel artifact. But this story was the biggest fumble I've ever seen. Not a word was spoken by any characters. Now I know that there was an actor strike going on, but the only motherfucker that was talking in that scene was Raptor 1. The story to that map is so forgettable and so disappointing, but the map afterwards is the best story map that we have gotten thus far in Black Ops 6, which is Shattered Veil. At this point, I have been wanting anything with Richtofen in it. I have only been wanting to see Richtofen and knowing where he is, what has he been up to, because the last time we saw him, he got caught up in some purple smoke and teleported elsewhere. But all of those questions were answered and then some. With Weaver and Maxis sent to assassinate Richtofen, they accidentally murder his wife and child, leaving Richtofen becoming a mad scientist. Richtofen's one and only goal was trying to reanimate his family using either magic or science. He first started with science, hiring Dr. Modi and giving her samples of his son's DNA. All of the subjects completely and utterly failed, with one of them being the final boss, Patient 13. With more and more subjects being used and less DNA left, Richtofen was forced to find another way to try to revive his family, and that being the Sentinel artifact. With the studies now faced towards magic and the Sentinel artifact, he had the Sam AI helping him out, but there was a slight problem. Sam wants to be a real person. She retains Maxis' memory, who is a character that sacrificed herself at the end of the Cold War campaign to shut down any and all Dark Ether portals, but now is revived in a machine called the Sam AI. All she wants is to have a body, and with the power of the Sentinel artifact, she can do so. With Richtofen being the way he is, he pushes her request to the side and says, "Beat it. I'm trying to revive my family. Why are you being so selfish? You are a literal AI machine." But then she took that personal and then evidently betrays Richtofen and then single-handedly guides our group through the motions of getting the Sentinel artifact and then betrays us, sending us right to Richtofen so he could tell us how badly we fumbled the bag by helping out Sam. Now this is good storytelling, compelling characters, a riveting story, excitement all across the board, all because of Richtofen, an OG character who is no doubt the most important character of any zombie stories and forever and always will be the best zombies character. Now I am excited. I cannot wait for Janus Towers to come out so that we can get a resolution or a cliffhanger to the ending of this story. Something I have never done in any video games ever was reading documents and listening to intel. For me, I have never been interested. I don't like reading books. I don't like doing no extracurricular activities. I don't. But one day I was thinking to myself, the story's kind of lame, but I wonder if the intel and the documents could maybe change my mind. And it did. Remember how I was saying in Citadel Day More, there was a random ghost calling us his son? Well, that's because the swords that you have acquired were carried by knights who served the owl, with the knights' personalities linked to their swords. The lion being the leader of the group, the dragon burning down all their enemies with a fiery personality, the raven with a dark mysterious aura, and the lightning striking down enemies from the sky with a shocking personality. Each of these knights had one goal and one goal only, and that was getting their father's appreciation and respect. But the owl had no interest in supporting his sons. All he wanted for them was for them to do his bidding, leading the sons on a never-ending chase when the ball was never thrown. That is the coolest story in this game. And if I didn't listen to the intel on this, I would have never known. There are plenty of other stories that I could talk about, like Richtofen having 3 overdue movies from Liberty Falls, one being Dating Your Mom, Your Kids Are Idiots, and Call Girls in Love. Bro's going through it right now. I think the last thing that I want to talk about was a point that I mentioned in the beginning of this section, was Richtofen's return. Richtofen is easily the best part of this story, but for me it kind of sucks, because it's not just Richtofen's return, it's the Sentinel Artifact's return, it's the Wonder Waff's return, it's the Reagan Mark II's return. All of these things have returned because of the Dark Ether. The Dark Ether are fragments of different timelines created in one spot. So for example, on Shattered Veil, when you get the Mark II, the SAM AI will tell you that this Mark II was found in the Dark Ether. How about the perk machines? The Wonder Fizz machine literally teleports in from the Dark Ether. Or how about the Sentinel Artifact? That was ripped straight from Black Ops 4, and that campaign was never completed. So the only special thing about this campaign are features or characters that are brought back from old games that made those games special. What I want is something new. I don't want a remake. I don't want old things coming back for the sake of them coming back. I want something new, but I am still happy to see Richtofen nonetheless. It's just a bittersweet moment because the premise timeline had ended. All the characters died, and that story was resolved. Now bringing back Richtofen just feels like a kick in the balls almost. Either way, I still think that there's hope for this story mode, but we had to travel through many bumpy roads and replace so many flat tires until we finally got back to the mainlands. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies has many problems. The characters being extremely bland and annoying. 80% of the wonder weapons in this game were taken from prior games and incorporated into this one. The amount of tools the game gives you in this game, score streaks, armor plates, field upgrades, you name it, and many more problems. But there is a glimmer of hope. Richtofen's return is the biggest highlight in the story, and that is what's making me so excited for Janus Towers and what the ending of that map is going to look like. The faster paced gameplay being exciting and keeping you on your toes. The game gives you a lot of options on how you can play the game, whether you want to change different ammo types, different guns, different augments. But these are all my opinions. I'm not saying that what I say is set in stone, but this is my review after all. And I don't see that it's a bad thing that people like modern zombies. I'm not the type of content creator that's going to criticize you for being so little brain on liking modern zombies. I think that shit is a charade. Each and every zombies installment has a different sort of fun. World at War being very nostalgic. Black Ops 2 having some of the best maps we have ever been given. And modern zombies with a bunch of Warzone elements. If you have fun with the game, it is not a problem at all. If you are having fun with this game, go have fun. If you want to criticize this game, go and criticize the game. I am not going to stop you from voicing your opinion. But please take it easy on me. Now, to all of the people who stay until the end of the video, thank you so much for staying. And here's a little surprise, a little gift I'm gonna give you guys. It's gonna be a little sneak peek of my next video. Is Call of Duty Vanguard that bad? As per usual, if you guys want to support me, liking the video and subscribing goes a very long way. Making these videos takes me a very long time. I have a very busy schedule, and I want to give you guys the best videos that I can give you guys. The fact that you guys take time out of your day to watch my videos, I'm trying to make all the time that you guys spend in here the best part of your day. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for the support. If you guys want to spank my bells, hey, I will not stop you. Have a good one, guys. Take care.